At a certain point, I've just concluded that for me personally, it is important for me to go ahead and affirm that I think same-sex couples should be able to get married.
Here to make sense of this news is Wall Street Journal assistant editorial page editor James Freeman. James, welcome.
Thanks. Good to be here. I don't know if I can make sense of it, but
okay. Well, President Obama was against gay marriage before he was for it.
Right.
What's changed?
This is a really good question because he's obviously been avoiding this subject very aggressively for months, years. Didn't want to take a position, and now, a few months out from his re-election election day, he's decided to weigh in here. It's you could look at this either way. You could say either this is desperation. They've decided at Chicago campaign headquarters that the economy's going in the tank and they need to try something else. Or you could say they're so confident they think they can take this political baggage and still win.
Okay, well, James, for our viewers out there, what's at stake here? What does it mean when we talk about gay marriage versus civil unions?
Well, in terms of what it means for the president, that's also not clear because this has, to this point, been a state issue. At various times, he seems to be saying that he thinks states ought to decide it. But if he's now for it in a second term, you begin to wonder, because certainly he's going to be pressured to do some kind of federal action to override all of these state bans that have come out. You wonder, is this going to be the Obamacare of the second term, a fight over whether the federal government will now regulate marriage?
Well, we did just have a state, North Carolina, I believe, yesterday that passed a law that was anti-gay marriage. So we do have some people in the states making their views known. I think we've got a chart here that shows maybe how our cultural norms might be changing. If we can please throw that up on the screen if we've got it. But while we're waiting for that, yep. Vice President Joe Biden over the weekend suggested that our cultural norms are changing. And he referenced the sitcom Will and Grace, and he said, look, it's time for us to do this. I'm looking at that chart here. It shows March 2012, 49% favoring gay marriage. How do you interpret that, James? Is he right?
Well, I think, Will and Grace does have a following. A lot of Republicans watch that show, but I guess probably in syndication now. But what you've seen is polls showing gay marriage more popular. And it's always portrayed as kind of a fast evolving situation with public opinion. But people tend to not believe those polls. And just to give you one example, I'm not talking about opponents of gay marriage. I'm talking about supporters. We've watched here in the deep south state of New Jersey, Democrats who favor a same-sex marriage, favor allowing it, have not wanted to put it to voters in the state. Whereas Governor Christie is saying, let's let people vote, even though opinion polls show it's overwhelmingly popular. So you mentioned North Carolina. This is a swing state that the president wants to win this fall. Yesterday, overwhelmingly rejected same-sex marriage. So every swing state, basically within the last 10 years, Michigan, Ohio, Virginia, Wisconsin, Florida, all rejecting same-sex marriage. So it may poll well, but that's not the way the voting turns out.
We're talking to Wall Street Journal assistant editor James Freeman about President Obama's statement today on gay marriage. Let's talk about the other side of politics. Mitt Romney came out very strongly, very quickly today after the president's statement said he affirmed gay marriage. How do you read that?
Mitt Romney saying he affirmed his opposition to gay marriage.
Excuse me, sorry.
He affirmed his support of traditional marriage.
Right.
And I think you would say, looking at the swing states where this election is going to be decided, that Romney has the advantage. Now, again, maybe the Obama campaign operation in Chicago has seen new polls, or they've decided this issue is moving so fast that this is now a winner. But it's potentially a big problem because, remember, you have to ignore national polls. Obama is already going to win New York. He's already going to win California. In these swing states, often blue-collar Catholic in the Midwest, a lot of evangelicals as you get into the South. This polling would normally suggest, and the results of votes more importantly, that this is not a huge winner for the president.
James, you've only got a couple of seconds left here. There's also, of course, the minority votes. I'm thinking of California, where a gay marriage law did not pass, I think in large part because of the African-American vote. Is that also an issue here in some of the swing states? I'm thinking Florida.
Well, I would think there was a calculus going on in the Obama campaign that this probably helps them juice turnout among young people. They've been worried that the kids aren't going to show up this year because they're unemployed. On the other hand, it probably is a discouraging factor for the black community to turn out, because even though gay marriage is more popular than it used to be, you're still talking about a 50-50 deal. In other words, it's a lot less popular than Barack Obama in the black community.
Well, we're going to have to leave it at that, although I'm sure there's a lot more to say. James Freeman, thanks so much for being with us.